Hi guys, MrRoflWaffles here. This is the Black Ops 3 Nuketown bonus map trailer. It came out a couple of days ago, but I realized that a lot of you guys haven't actually seen it. I was talking about it a little bit on Twitter, and nobody mentioned the fact that they'd seen this particular trailer. They only were talking about previous gameplay we'd seen, so I figured despite the fact that it's a couple days old now, I might as well make a video and talk a little bit about the fact that Nuketown is obviously coming back in Black Ops 3, but also what that might mean in terms of the sort of story arc of this particular site. In Black Ops 1, we had Nuketown, obviously, and the idea is that you build a test site and then you detonate a nuke nearby, and you see how the town is affected. Then, in Black Ops 2, in, 2025 or so, they redid the same thing and did another test, and now I guess we're at 2065, maybe 2067, something like that, way in the future, and we're getting this site being built up again. Now, that's the reason for all the futuristic elements of the map. You've also got the Wallrunning in Black Ops 3, which has been implemented into the map, and you'll see in just a moment that there are points on the map that have been added in for us specifically to be running on in our gunfights and when we're trying to get from point A to point B. Another thing that you might notice is that the graphical style of Black Ops 3 has changed a fair bit since the initial release. If you go all the way back to the first piece of gameplay we ever saw, the textures looked really bad. It looked like soup and vomit, and it just really wasn't so great. But now the game looks so crisp and clean, and those of you that played the beta, even then, will be playing an updated version of the game with more polish and more adjustments made to make things look absolutely spectacular in the final product when it launches on November 6th. It is actually pretty crazy to think that they've managed to pack all of this stuff into one disc. I mean, the fact that we're on next gen now obviously has something to do with that, but if you go back to something like Call of Duty Black Ops 1, or maybe even earlier, go and play like World at War, and just look at the images that you're presented with in the game in terms of the landscapes and the styling and the color and the saturation and all of that, and then compare it to this and the gameplay we're seeing in this trailer, and the contrast is so stark, it's actually amazing, really. You can see some of the wall running here, which is going to be super useful for when you've got people camping in those pesky corners and you want to just eliminate them with a tomahawk to the dome or anything along those lines. I think the wall running is definitely going to be a welcome addition to this, but it will mean that the map, I think, will move around a little bit differently to the previous ones. In the past, Nuketown's been quite one-sided a lot of the time. Like, one team will take control of the outside area, and then it becomes a sort of battle near the houses, whereas with this addition of the wall running, it might mean that it's easier for some people to slip out of those sorts of traps and either cap flags or just generally flip spawns. I have been MrRoflWaffles. The final thing I want to mention is this little bit at the end of the trailer where they show one of the newly updated mannequins, and it's got quite an eerie and unsettling vibe to this particular shot. It's just tagged on the end with no explanation. Obviously, in Nuketown in the past, there have been a lot of Easter eggs associated with the map and shooting the heads off the mannequins, and there's obviously Nuketown zombies as well, and so I think it's quite likely that there's going to be an Easter egg embedded in this map to do with those same mannequins. Who knows, maybe they'll get up and start shooting guns at you or something. Wouldn't that be cool? So, I've been MrRoflWaffles. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this slowed down version of the Nuketown trailer. The full thing's linked in the description if you want to check out the full speed version, and I'll hopefully see you next time in another Black Ops 3 video. Bye-bye.